What's up, YouTube? This is Pearson, just giving you a quick digital portrait update. This is a commission that I've been working on for the past week, and I just want to show you what I've been up to with regards to this piece. As you can see, there's some progress from the previous update. So as I discussed earlier, what I was using for this piece was the hard airbrush and the soft airbrush. And that's a first for me. I actually typically don't use the soft and hard airbrush for the digital portraits. I was using a brush prior to that that was more textury. Let's see if I can get it loaded up here. And it's not loading up, thank you, computer. But I was using a brush that had a little bit more texture and a little bit more toothy feel to it. And I was using that to create like implied blending. So the soft and hard airbrush is a new tool that I've been using, and I'm typically not used to using that because I don't usually do direct blending. But I think I was pretty successful in that regard. Maybe, maybe not. You could argue against it, but you know, I have to grow, and this is one way of improving my skill set. And one of the newer things I'm going to try for this drawing is working on the lips. On this particular piece, I kind of exaggerated the lip folds and crevices. That is something I'm taking a page out of an artist that I follow on Instagram. I don't know the artist's name. I think it might be Chrissy TP. I don't know. But the artist does these fantastic lips, and I tried to kind of pull that aesthetic and apply it to my drawing here. And I think it's moderately successful, but there could be, obviously there can be more improvements with regards to that. It is a little bit rough, I'll give you that. It's not near as polished as obviously the artist that does it constantly. And I've never really been like a very polished artist anyways, so I can't really be too upset with myself in that regard. So I kind of like how it's looking as of right now. If you kind of notice some of the colors that are kind of just splashed on there, these subtle little greens and yellows that are kind of splashed upon the portrait here, and purples and pinks. Typically, if I see those colors, even minutely when I zoom in to the portrait, I tend to exaggerate them in the image here. And I think it's kind of one of my trade secrets. Not even trade secrets, it's something that I typically do on my portraits and dog portraits. And a new brush that I actually included into this piece today was it's called a Signature Ink. It's a copy, but it's called the Signature Ink brush. And I was using that for the eyebrows. I felt that the eyebrows looked kind of like that brush. So I decided to use that as a underbrush study or underbrush layer for the final layers of the eyebrows. Typically when I would do the eyebrows, I would use a what's it called, a single strand, a strand brush. All my brushes are copies. A single strand brush tool, and I was using that very sparingly just to kind of suggest the eyebrows as opposed to kind of define each eyebrow. I lean towards a more suggestion of form as opposed to defining the forms. So that's why blending is not necessarily my best like skill set. But I am decent at it enough to kind of be successful. I typically like to suggest form using more blocky shapes to kind of sculpt the portrait. But I think this, all in all, this is kind of turning out really well. And that is it for the digital update. I hope you have a wonderful day, YouTube.